Hey everyone, welcome online. My name is Shiharan and today it's time to have a look what's inside an optical mouse. So right in front of you here is an optical mouse which is manufactured by Intex and which is a bit good mouse because it's very sensitive and which comes in with a manufacturer's warranty of 6 months, and you should be able to buy it at a price range of 120 to 170 rupees, depends on the retailer you find. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to disassemble this mouse and I'll show you what's inside the mouse. So first of all, let me show you the behind side of the mouse. Behind side of the mouse, as you can see that there was a seal that was your warranty seal, or it's written as Intex PSS1, as you can see 2011, those stuffs. Here a small screw was placed inside, and in order to open the mouse you just need to go through this warranty seal, and you just break it using a plus headed screwdrivers, the small one, and need to open it up. And I won't recommend you to do that until and unless you have passed with your warranty period, and absolutely there is no need of opening a mouse until and unless you are a curious nerd of electronics who always tries to learn how things works and always try to learn new things. But anyways, let's leave those things and let's talk about a business, that is what's inside a mouse. Now as you can see here, this key shaped hole is basically the lens of your mouse. So this is what you have below the mouse, and mouse almost works on every surface, starting from human skin to textured surfaces, newspapers, textbook papers, glossy surfaces where the sensitivity lacks a bit of optical mouses. This is an optical mouse, and almost every surfaces they work with, so that's a good thing. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open it up. Alright, so here goes the cover. I'll just remove the cover over here and I'll just use my screwdriver to explain you. This was the plus headed screwdriver used to remove this screw which is lying over here. So let's talk about it. So the moment I open up, I find a PCB. This is called a PCB or printed circuit board, where we have a couple of common things such as these stuffs. These are your electrolytic capacitors. This is your ceramic disc capacitor. This is a resistor. This is once again an electrolytic capacitor, 3 mm LED and 5 mm LED. And the most uncommon thing is this one. This is a Z encoder which has a hole into it, and upon which we have fixed this wheel, which is your scrolling wheel. Now the moment you scroll it, the Z encoder helps to move your page up and down horizontally according to the amount of angular displacement made into it. And these are your buttons. This is your right click button. It just gets pressed in this fashion and you just get a menu, and this is your right click button. Upon pressing that, you just acknowledge or you just give a final command. And this is your USB cable which contains 4 wires. These 4 wires are ground, 5 volts, a data plus and data minus. So that is all you have in the PCB. So what I'm going to do now is let me remove and show you what's under it. This is the behind side of the PCB. Now if you see the behind side of the PCB, there is something to notice. That is, over here I have my optical mouse IC which has a small hole that is actually the light absorbing surface of the sensor, because this MCU, that is USB MCU chip, contains a CMOS sensor to detect the variation in lights caused by the 5 mm red LED. I'm going to talk about everything. As you can see, it's clear now, that small hole. And this is the remaining part of it. This is your optical lens of the mouse, which actually helps in carrying the light from the 5 mm LED, red LED of the PCB, and it just makes sure that the light is carried to the CMOS sensor of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the mouse back where it's supposed to be, and I'm able to do that. And now I have my laptop over here, and it has an USB port, so I'm going to place this USB male port into the female port of my laptop, and let's see what changes we get into the into this circuit. So first of all, we'll be getting a sound of acknowledgement of the hardware, and I'm using Windows 8, so there will be a different sound. So here we go. The mouse gets accepted. Now there are two things that you are supposed to notice. At the moment I plugged in this LED, this is your blue LED, glows. So this shows that the 5 volts supply is the supply that is provided by the USB was available, but this red LED glowed only when I got the sound. So this means this LED acts only when your hardware is accepted by your laptop. Now I'll show you. So here we go. If you see that I have the mouse moving onto my screen, and I'll show you this fashion so that you can see. Now you can see that as the moment I am moving my mouse on this piece of paper, you can see that the mouse is moving. So how does that happen? So explaining that, I would say that the complete thing is done with this chip, and this is a multi-purpose optical chip, or the USB MCU. This is what it's commonly called as, and the complete thing is done with this LED. Now the light emitted by this LED falls into this lens, which is made of fiberglass, which acts as a carrier of light, which is an optical carrier. Now when light falls into it, it just goes and stays into the surface. Now as I have shown a few moments back, the behind side of this chip, where you have a small hole. Now that small hole has the direct exposure to the CMOS sensor, that is complementary metal oxide semiconductor sensor, where the light falls and the variations are detected. Now the mouse stays idle for 3 seconds, and the moment there is a movement acknowledged, the LED glows brightly. So here we go, just 3 seconds. The LED once again goes dim. So this is how the mouse basically works. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain you about this IC. This is a OM31 IC, which is a 14-pin dual inline packaged IC, and this IC basically has few important parts. That is a filter, a CMOS sensor array, has a DSP unit, that is a digital signal processing unit, which plays the most important part of movement of your cursor onto your screen. Now how does the movement gets acknowledged by your laptop or PC, and how the movement of the surface proportionally moves onto your screen? So now that's the big question. So explaining that, I would say that the DSP unit of this works with the help of the conception of a tiny camera. Now when I say tiny camera, this means the CMOS sensor basically acts as a tiny camera, and this LED and the CMOS sensor basically forms the camera, which is capable of capturing 1500, now that's very big, 1500 images per second. Now these images are basically sent to the DSP unit, that is the digital signal processing unit present into this chip, where the images sent are analyzed, and then that images are analyzed, and hence the coordinates are formed, and that final coordinates are sent through the data plus and data minus cables to your laptop or PC, and accordingly the cursor moves. Now everything happens in a fraction of a second, hence you just get a smooth transition or a smooth displacement or proportional displacement of the cursor onto your screen. And that's all thanks to the technology, and you can play your games such as Max Payne and IGI and some other action games where the use of mouse is very much important. So this is how your mouse works. But other than that, I would say that the optical IC of a mouse has some resolution. So the resolution of optical IC, or the USB MCU optical 2-in-1 IC used in mouse, basically depends on a concept or on a measure that is a DPI, that is dots per inch. Now dots per inch means, suppose I have a surface. This is my surface. Now I would divide the complete surface into small dots. So that is the concept of DPI, and this OM31 optical IC is capable of working in the range of 800 or 1000 and all the way to 1200 dots per inch. And other than that, the speciality of this IC is it has a built-in power supply of 1.8 and 3.2 volts. 1.8 volts is used up by this red LED and 3.3 is used by this blue LED. And this is all how your mouse works. The complete thing of the calculation of the coordinates is done by a DSP unit, that is a digital signal processing unit into it, and the movement of it is captured by a camera setup which is formed by this LED and the CMOS sensor which is present behind side of this IC, which I have shown you in the past, a few moments back. A small hole through which the light which is emitted from this LED falls into this and carries all the way down to the pores, to the small cavity which is present, or the small hole present below this, and thereafter the movement is detected, the image is taken, is captured, and the DSP signal does sense the coordinates and you get the movement. Now there might be another question, that how the coordinates are judged once a movement is completed. Now say that I have moved my mouse over here, and now it's time to move the mouse here. Now what the DSP unit does is, say I have moved my mouse, it's present over here. Now it's stationary over here for some moment. Now at the moment, the DSP unit has the record of the last image taken, or the last image taken by the camera arrangement. Now I have moved my mouse over here. Now there will be some pictures taken when the mouse was in the previous state and now moved to a new distance. Now all these pictures will be analyzed by the DSP unit of this optical USB MCU chip, and it will send the coordinates once again through D plus D minus cables, and accordingly your mouse will move on the screen. So this is how your optical mouses works. Today, with the advancement of technology, we have wireless mouses. So very soon you can expect that I will just open up a wireless mouse and I will explain you. And the common problems in the optical mouses are that this LED has to have a decent amount of luminous intensity in order to have sensitivity of your optical mouses. Currently I'm not remembering the millicandles of luminous intensity that the red LED is supposed to produce, but most cases some mouses lacks their sensitivity only because when they are made to work in dusty conditions where dust gets deposited onto this lens from the behind side, or the internal problems are basically this red LED lacks its luminous intensity. So for that, what you can do is you can just replace it. You just need to open it up and replace it, and you're opening the mouse only when your guarantee period is over, because as I'm always warning you that if you tamper with the warranty seal before your warranty period is over, this may lead to cancellation of the warranty. So please don't do that. Please refer to your service center if anything happens within the warranty period, and this video is only for your information. And this is how your optical mouse works. And yes, in case if you have any queries, doubts or suggestions, just feel free to post them in the comment section below. I'll be glad to see your doubts and queries, and I'll be glad to resolve them as soon as possible. And if you want to contact me, the information is provided in the description of this video. And yes, if you like this video, please rate it with a thumbs up, as it always inspires me to do good and to come up with videos to really help you up, whether it's a new circuit or giving you a view of what's inside the normally or most commonly used things. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So that'll be all for now. Once again, this is Shiharan. Thanks for watching.